In a world obsessed with instant gratification, social validation, and external applause, the greatest victories often happen in silence. True success does not announce itself before it is achieved. It is cultivated in the darkness, nurtured in solitude, and revealed only when the work is done. Winning in silence means dedicating yourself to your craft, your dreams, and your purpose without seeking approval or validation from others. It means waking up before the world, putting in the hours when no one is watching, and staying focused despite the absence of recognition. It is about building an unshakable foundation, one that cannot be taken away because it was not dependent on the opinions of others to begin with. Today, I want to take you on a journey of self discipline, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of excellence in silence. This is not just a philosophy, it is a way of life that has shaped the greatest minds, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most elite athletes, and the most profound thinkers in history. If you embrace this path, you will unlock a power within yourself that few ever tap into. Let's begin. There is an old saying, work hard in silence, let success make the noise. This is not just a cliche, it is a principle that has stood the test of time. The greatest achievements are not born from boastful proclamations, but from relentless action taken in solitude. Think of the scientist who spends years in a lab before making a groundbreaking discovery, the athlete who trains in the early hours before the world wakes up, or the writer who spends nights crafting a masterpiece before anyone reads a single word. When you work in silence, you eliminate distractions. You remove the noise of external opinions and focus solely on the process. You are not working for validation. You are working for mastery. And that, my friends, is where true power lies. Discipline is the backbone of silent success. It is easy to get caught up in the excitement of announcing your goals to the world, but this often leads to a false sense of accomplishment. Research has shown that talking about your goals can trick your brain into feeling as if you have already achieved them, reducing the motivation to actually do the work. Instead of speaking, act. Let your efforts be the proof of your commitment. Discipline means setting a schedule and sticking to it. It means turning off distractions, saying no to unnecessary social gatherings, and choosing progress over temporary pleasure. It means understanding that every day of silent effort compounds into something far greater than any applause you might receive today. Why do we crave validation? Because it feels good. The likes, the praise, the admiration, they give us a temporary high. But success is not built on fleeting moments of recognition. It is built on consistency, resilience, and self-belief. When you remove the need for validation, you become unstoppable. You no longer work to impress others. You work to better yourself. You do not seek approval. You seek progress. And that shift in mindset is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. History is filled with examples of those who won in silence. Leonardo da Vinci spent years perfecting his work before unveiling his masterpieces. Kobe Bryant was known for his silent, relentless training sessions. Warren Buffett built his empire not by making noise, but by making smart, strategic moves in silence. These individuals understood the power of silent dedication. They knew that true greatness does not need to announce itself. It reveals itself when the time is right. And if you follow their example, your success will speak for itself. Success does not happen overnight. It is built through daily, disciplined actions. Every moment spent improving your craft, every hour invested in learning, and every sacrifice made in silence adds up. The world may not see your progress immediately, but that does not mean it is not happening. Trust the process, keep showing up, keep working when no one is watching, keep building your empire brick by brick, knowing that when the time comes, your results will be undeniable. In a world that constantly demands attention, where noise is often mistaken for progress, and where social validation has become a measure of success, I stand before you today to talk about the silent worker, The one who does not boast, does not seek unnecessary recognition, but instead quietly builds, persistently grows, and ultimately triumphs. The strength of working silently is underestimated in today's era of instant gratification. We live in a world where people rush to announce their plans before even taking the first step. They seek validation from social media, peers, and society at large before even proving their worth. But the truth is, success does not require an audience. It only requires action. True achievers understand this. They recognize that greatness is built in silence, behind closed doors, in the solitude of effort, dedication, and discipline. When you work silently, you are driven by purpose, not applause. You do not need the world to acknowledge every step you take because your focus is entirely on progress, not on perception. You are not seeking approval, you are seeking excellence. And when you finally emerge with results, those results speak louder than any words ever could. Silence is not weakness, silence is strategy. Think about the most successful individuals in history: scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Did they spend their time broadcasting their every move? No. They worked in the shadows, perfecting their craft, failing in private, learning, growing, and evolving. They did not waste energy in proving themselves prematurely. They understood that noise is a distraction, and distraction is the enemy of progress. When you work in silence, you gain an advantage. You avoid unnecessary competition because you are not revealing your cards too soon. You are not burdened by expectations or weighed down by doubters. You are free to experiment, to fail without fear of ridicule, and to rise without the pressure of proving yourself at every step. The absence of external validation forces you to rely on inner motivation, which is the most powerful fuel for long-term success. Working silently requires an extraordinary level of discipline. It means resisting the temptation to boast about your dreams before they materialize. It means showing up every day, even when no one is watching, even when no one acknowledges your efforts. It means trusting the process, understanding that success is built in small, unseen increments. It means embracing the grind, knowing that every step you take in silence is strengthening your foundation for the future. The disciplined worker knows that results take time. They are not in a hurry to prove their worth to the world. They are in a race with themselves, striving to be better than they were yesterday. This is the true essence of growth, not seeking validation, but seeking improvement. One of the greatest advantages of working silently is the element of surprise. When you do not announce your plans, you are free to make mistakes, learn, adapt, and refine your strategy without interference. And when you finally achieve what you set out to do, the world is taken aback. Your success becomes undeniable, and your work speaks for itself. Look at the most impactful innovations, the most legendary success stories. They were not loudly proclaimed in their infancy. They were nurtured in silence, developed with patience, and then revealed only when they were ready to leave an undeniable mark. This is how true victories are achieved, not through premature declarations, but through undeniable execution. The greatest battles are often won not with words, but with silence. Think about the times when someone has tried to provoke you, insult you, or challenge you. The immediate reaction is to respond, to argue, to prove a point. But what does reacting impulsively really achieve? More conflict, more misunderstanding, more wasted energy. Those who have mastered the discipline to stay quiet understand that not every battle is worth fighting. They choose their words wisely, speak only when necessary, and let their actions do the talking. Silence in such moments is not weakness, it is strategy. It allows you to observe, to analyze, and to respond only when it serves a purpose. Staying quiet does not mean being passive or indifferent. It means being selective about where you invest your energy. The most successful people in the world, whether in business, leadership, or personal growth, have mastered the art of silence. They listen more than they speak, they learn before they express, and they act before they announce. In contrast, those who talk too much often waste time explaining their plans rather than executing them. They look for validation rather than self improvement. But those who stay quiet, who focus on their work, who avoid unnecessary noise, are the ones who truly grow. When you stay quiet, you gain the power of observation. You notice things others miss. You understand situations deeply before making a move. You develop patience, and patience is the foundation of wisdom. There are moments in life when silence is the only answer. When you are misunderstood, stay quiet, because the truth will reveal itself in time. When you are insulted, stay quiet, because dignity is not found in shouting, but in self respect. When others doubt you, stay quiet, because success is the best response. It takes immense discipline to resist the urge to defend yourself, to explain yourself, or to seek approval. But the strongest people understand that the world does not need explanations, it needs results. When you work in silence, when you grow in silence, when you endure in silence, you build an unshakable foundation for success. Now, this does not mean that silence is always the answer. There are times when speaking up is necessary to stand up for what is right, to lead, to inspire, to defend the truth. But the difference is that those who practice the discipline of staying quiet do not speak out of impulse. They speak when their words hold value. Many people believe that talking more makes them important, but the reality is quite the opposite. The more you talk, the less you listen. The more you react, the less you think. But the one who stays quiet, who speaks only when needed, commands more respect than the one who is always trying to be heard. Struggle that most people face but rarely acknowledge, the constant need for validation. We live in a world where approval has become a currency, where people measure their worth through likes, comments, applause, and external recognition. But let me tell you this: the strongest, most successful, and most fulfilled individuals in life are those who do not seek validation from others, but instead find their worth within themselves. Resisting the need for validation is not easy. It requires self awareness, discipline, and confidence. It demands that you stand firm in your beliefs, decisions, and goals, even when the world does not recognize or applaud you for them. It is a journey of self liberation, of breaking free from the chains of approval, and of truly owning your path in life. Let us explore why people crave validation, why it is dangerous, and how we can free ourselves from its grip. This reinforces the belief that our worth depends on how others perceive us. As we grow older, this desire for validation only intensifies, whether it is from parents, teachers, friends, colleagues, or even strangers on social media. The need for validation often stems from fear of rejection. Many people seek validation because they fear being left out or not fitting in. They conform to expectations, afraid that standing alone will make them an outcast. Lack of self confidence. When you doubt yourself, you look to others to confirm your worth. You become dependent on external reassurance to feel valuable. Social conditioning, society constantly tells us what success should look like, what beauty should be, and how we should behave. People seek validation to prove they fit into these molds. The desire to feel important. Everyone wants to feel significant. When people acknowledge us, praise us, or admire us, it gives us a sense of importance, even if it is fleeting. But the truth is, seeking validation is a never ending cycle. It is like chasing a mirage. You may feel satisfied for a moment, but soon you crave more. The more you depend on external validation, the more powerless you become. The need for validation is not just a harmless desire, it can be a dangerous trap that limits your potential and controls your life. Here's how: it makes you dependent on others. When your happiness and confidence depend on the approval of others, you become a slave to their opinions. You live not for yourself, but for their acceptance. Instead of making choices based on what truly fulfills you, you make choices based on what others will approve of. It weakens your decision making. If you constantly look for reassurance before making a decision, you lose the ability to trust yourself. You second guess your instincts and hesitate to take action without external confirmation. Strong individuals do not need permission to chase their dreams. They trust themselves enough to move forward without applause. It leads to inauthenticity. When you prioritize validation, you start living a life that is not truly yours. You shape your personality, interests, and actions to fit what others expect. Over time, you lose touch with your real self. You become a people pleaser rather than an individual with genuine passion and purpose. It prevents growth and success. Some of the greatest achievements in history were accomplished by those who did not seek approval. They broke norms, challenged traditions, and pursued their visions despite criticism, doubt, and rejection. If they had waited for validation, they would have never changed the world. If you seek approval at every step, you will never take the risks necessary for real success. It creates anxiety and insecurity. People who rely on validation often experience anxiety. They constantly worry about what others think, whether they are good enough, and whether they are accepted. This insecurity can lead to stress, fear of failure, and even depression. True peace comes when you stop looking outward for approval and start looking inward for fulfillment. The first step to breaking free from validation seeking behavior is recognizing when and why you do it. Ask yourself, why do I seek approval in certain situations? Who am I trying to impress and why? Does their validation truly change my worth? Once you become aware of your patterns, you can start changing them. Confidence comes from within, not from compliments or applause. Work on improving your skills, educating yourself, and growing as a person. When you truly know your worth, you won't need others to confirm it. You do not owe explanations to everyone. You do not need to justify your dreams, your decisions, or your path to those who do not understand them. Strong people do what they believe is right, regardless of who approves. We live in an age where loudness is often mistaken for greatness, where those who shout the most seem to capture the most attention, and where social media has conditioned us to believe that visibility equates to success. But today, I want to shift our perspective. I want to talk about the ones who have truly shaped history, the ones who did not seek the spotlight, but whose work changed the world. I want to talk about the silent greats, those who proved that true excellence does not need noise, only action. Throughout history, there have been individuals whose contributions have been monumental, yet they did not chase fame. They did not constantly seek applause or demand recognition. They dedicated themselves to their craft, their purpose, and their vision, working relentlessly, often in solitude, knowing that their work itself was the greatest reward. These silent greats have given us the most powerful lessons in perseverance, discipline, and the quiet pursuit of mastery. One of the most important lessons we can learn from the silent greats is the power of silent dedication. Think of the inventors, scientists, and artists whose brilliance transformed the world. People like Nikola Tesla, who devoted his life to technological advancements, but never sought the fame that others craved. While his ideas laid the foundation for modern electrical systems, he worked tirelessly without the need for widespread recognition. His dedication was to progress, not popularity. The same can be said about countless others: mathematicians who solved equations that shaped the future, researchers who spent decades in laboratories searching for cures, and engineers who built the foundations of our modern world without ever demanding the spotlight. Their silence was not emptiness, it was purpose. They understood that true progress does not require validation from others. It only requires commitment and effort. How often do we see people today trying to prove themselves to the world before they have even built something meaningful? How often do we see individuals seeking applause for intentions rather than results? The silent greats teach us that the real work happens in the background, in the hours no one sees, in the struggles no one knows about. Their discipline reminds us that greatness is not about being noticed. It is about making an impact whether or not the world sees it. Another powerful lesson from the silent greats is the virtue of humility. There are many who achieve success and instantly seek to announce it to the world. They crave recognition, they want credit, and they need validation. But the silent greats remind us that humility is a sign of true strength. They did not work for praise, they worked for progress. Their satisfaction came from knowing they had done something meaningful, not from public approval. Consider the example of Marie Curie, a woman whose contributions to science were groundbreaking. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win in two different fields, physics and chemistry. Yet, despite her immense accomplishments, she remained humble, focused on her work rather than on seeking fame. She never needed to be the loudest person in the room because her actions spoke louder than any words could. In a world obsessed with self-promotion, we must remember this. Humility is not about diminishing yourself, it is about letting your work speak for itself. The silent greats teach us that we do not need to prove our worth with words when we can demonstrate it through action. One of the most remarkable traits of the silent greats is their relentless pursuit of mastery. They did not seek shortcuts, they did not chase instant gratification, and they did not allow distractions to derail their purpose. They focused entirely on their craft, understanding that true excellence is a lifelong commitment. Take the example of Leonardo da Vinci. Most people know him as the artist behind the Mona Lisa, but few realize that he spent years perfecting every stroke, every detail, every aspect of his work. He did not rush his art for quick validation. He was consumed by the desire to create something extraordinary. His greatness came from his patience, discipline, and commitment to mastery, qualities that define all silent achievers. In today's fast-paced world where success is often measured in immediate results, we must learn from these silent greats. Greatness is not about speed, it is about depth. It is about refining your skills, perfecting your craft, and dedicating yourself to excellence, even if no one is watching. If there is one common theme among all silent greats, it is this: they let their actions speak louder than their words. They understood that achievements do not need to be announced. They simply need to be accomplished. Too many people today waste energy trying to convince others of their potential instead of actually working towards it. They spend time talking about their goals rather than taking the necessary steps to reach them. But the silent greats remind us that real work happens in silence. They did not declare their plans to the world, they simply executed them. The greatest example of this is Mahatma Gandhi, a man who led an entire movement with quiet strength. He did not boast about his efforts, he did not seek recognition, and he did not fight with words. He fought with action. His leadership was rooted in simplicity, yet his impact changed the course of history. This is the power of silent greatness. When you commit yourself to action instead of noise, your results will always be more powerful than anything you could say. Now the question is, how can we apply these lessons to our own lives? How can we follow in the footsteps of the silent greats and build something meaningful without constantly seeking attention? Prioritize action over attention. Do not waste time proving yourself to others. Focus on your work and let your results do the talking. Embrace humility. You do not need applause to be valuable. Keep improving, keep growing, and let your success speak for itself. Commit to mastery. Do not rush greatness. Take time to refine your skills, deepen your knowledge, and work towards long-term excellence. Stay focused in silence. Avoid unnecessary distractions. The world will always be noisy, but true achievers know how to tune it out and stay committed to their path. Trust the process. The silent greats did not seek overnight success. They worked for years, sometimes decades, before the world even noticed them. Be patient, stay disciplined, and keep going. In a world where words are abundant but true action is rare, I stand before you today to talk about a principle that defines the strongest, most successful, and most respected individuals. Let your actions speak louder than words. We live in a society where people constantly talk about their goals, their ambitions, and their dreams. Social media is filled with declarations of success, promises of change, and motivational words. Yet, how many of these words translate into real, tangible action? How many people truly follow through on what they say? The reality is, words are easy, but action is what separates the great from the ordinary. You can speak of greatness, but unless you prove it with your actions, your words mean nothing. You can promise change, but unless you take steps to make it happen, your promises are empty. You can talk about your potential, but unless you act on it, it remains just that potential, not reality. Today, I want to remind you that success, respect, and impact are not built by what you say, but by what you do. The most powerful individuals in history were not those who spoke the most. They were the ones who acted, who worked, who showed the world their worth through their efforts, not their words. Let's explore why action is more important than words, why people fail to act, and how we can cultivate a mindset that prioritizes results over empty talk. Words are like the wind. They can be spoken in an instant and forgotten just as quickly. But actions leave a legacy. Actions create impact. Actions change lives. Think about the people you admire the most. Are they the ones who constantly talk about success or the ones who silently work hard and achieve it? A businessman can promise innovation, but only those who actually build something will make history. A leader can give grand speeches, but only those who take real action will change the world. A student can talk about studying hard, but only those who put in the effort will succeed. Your reputation is not built on what you say, it is built on what you do. One of the greatest reasons why action is more powerful than words is because actions build trust. Think about this. Have you ever met someone who constantly makes promises but never follows through? Someone who always talks about their goals but never takes steps to achieve them? Over time, you stop believing in them. Their words lose meaning because their actions do not align with them. On the other hand, those who act without excessive talk gain respect. These are the people who do not need to announce their plans because their results speak for themselves. Their credibility is strong because they have a history of doing what they say they will do. Whether in business, relationships, leadership, or personal development, trust is built through consistent action, not through spoken intentions. If action is so powerful, why do so many people prefer words over results? There are a few reasons. Seeking validation instead of progress. Many people talk about their goals because they want validation. They want people to praise them, to believe in them, to acknowledge their ideas. But true achievers do not waste time seeking validation. They focus on execution. Fear of failure. Talking about something feels easy because it requires no risk. Acting on it, however, comes with the possibility of failure. Many people prefer to talk because they are afraid of taking action and falling short. But the reality is, failure is part of success. Those who achieve great things do so because they are willing to act even when success is uncertain. See lack of discipline. Taking action requires effort, consistency, and discipline. It is much easier to say, I will start tomorrow, than to actually start today. But dreams without action are just illusions. If you want to be successful, you must learn to break free from the cycle of talking and start doing. History is filled with examples of individuals who did not seek fame through words, but through action. Elon Musk did not spend his time bragging about his goals. He built SpaceX and Tesla and proved his vision through execution. Steve Jobs did not just talk about innovation. He created Apple and changed the world. Mother Teresa did not speak endlessly about kindness. She went out and served humanity. Mahatma Gandhi did not fight for independence with loud speeches. He used peaceful resistance and action to change the course of history. These people did not just dream, they acted. They did not just speak, they delivered. They showed us that true impact does not come from words, but from consistent, meaningful action. Ladies and gentlemen, in a world where talk is cheap, be a person of substance. In a time when many seek attention through words, choose to gain respect through action. Your words may inspire, but your actions will define you. Your promises may sound good, but your consistency will prove your worth. Your goals may impress others, but only your hard work will make them a reality. So today, I challenge you, stop talking and start doing. Let your actions be so strong, so consistent, and so impactful that you no longer need to explain yourself. Because in the end, the loudest voices will fade, but the ones who take action will leave a legacy that speaks forever. Thank you.